To feel a sense of connectedness. I think more than anything right now, we are so disconnected.
Welcome to the bold and inspiring life of Gabrielle Union, a woman who didn't just rise to fame, but redefined what it means to own your voice in Hollywood. He began with an unforgettable breakout role in Bring It On, to commanding the screen in Being Mary Jane. Gabrielle Union has built a career on strength, versatility, and unapologetic authenticity. Best believe that her story goes far beyond the camera. Behind the fame is a journey marked by resilience, a survivor, a best-selling author, and a fierce advocate for women's rights and racial equality. Gabrielle has used her platform to speak truth, even when it's uncomfortable. She's opened up about personal struggles, challenged industry norms, and continues to inspire millions with her courage and transparency. Actress, activist, entrepreneur, mother. She wears every title with purpose. But what shaped her into the fearless woman we know today? And how did she turn pain into power? Stay with us, because here is a story of strength, survival, and speaking up. Before Gabrielle Union became a household name, before she commanded the screen with confidence and fire, her story began far from Hollywood lights, rooted in discipline, cultural awakening, and an early understanding of what it meant to stand alone. Gabrielle Monique Union was born on October 29, 1972, in Omaha, Nebraska, the middle child in a family of 3 daughters. Her parents, Sylvester Union, a military sergeant and telecommunications executive, and Teresa Glass Union, a social worker and phone company manager, raised their children in a household built on structure, faith, and self-reliance. Her early childhood in Omaha was shaped by a strong Black community, one where extended family, shared history, and cultural connection created a sense of belonging. But that stability shifted when Gabrielle was about 8 years old. Her father was transferred for work, and the family relocated to Pleasanton, California, a predominantly white suburban environment that would challenge her sense of identity in ways she had never experienced before. Suddenly, Gabrielle stood out, not by choice, but by circumstance. She has spoken openly about the loneliness that came with being one of the few Black girls in her school, while her mother made deliberate efforts to ensure her daughters remained connected to Black culture and history, exposing them to community conversations, social awareness, and even taking Gabrielle to a pride parade at a young age. There was still a longing for the camaraderie she had lost. That tension between assimilation and authenticity would quietly shape the woman she became. At Foothill High School, Gabrielle found her footing through sports, not performance. She was a relentless, year-round athlete, competing in soccer, basketball, and track, developing discipline, endurance, and a physical confidence that later translated seamlessly onto the screen. Acting was not the dream. In fact, it barely registered as a possibility. Her ambition leaned elsewhere. After high school, Gabrielle attended several colleges, including the University of Nebraska and Cuesta College, before transferring to UCLA, where she earned a degree in sociology. Her original plan was law school, stability, a profession with structure, a life she could control. Ironically, acting entered her life through practicality, not passion. While at UCLA, Gabrielle took an internship at a modeling agency, simply to earn credits and help pay tuition. She didn't see herself as a performer, but agents saw something else. That internship turned into modeling work, and modeling work quietly opened the door to auditions. Her first acting job came without headshots, without training, without ambition, just opportunity meeting readiness. But beneath those early professional steps lay something heavier. At 19 years old, Gabrielle survived a violent assault that would permanently alter her understanding of safety, vulnerability, and voice. A trauma she would later speak about openly, using her platform to advocate for survivors and reclaim power through truth. Though this happened just after her early years, its roots, resilience, awareness, and self-protection were already planted long before Hollywood ever noticed her. Gabrielle Union became one of the most recognizable working actresses of the late 1990s, appearing in dozens of television shows, including Family Matters, Sister, Moesha, Seventh Heaven, and Friends. These roles were small, often fleeting, but they taught her how to survive an industry that rarely invested deeply in young black actresses. Her first brush with mainstream recognition came in 1999, when she appeared in teen hits 10 Things I Hate About You and She's All That. These films introduced her to a wider audience, but often in limited archetypes. Union later reflected that, at that stage, she played the black friend, or the adversarial girl, roles shaped more by industry constraints than by her range. She accepted them anyway because survival required visibility. Everything shifted in 2000. That year, Gabrielle Union played Isis, the sharp, commanding captain of a rival cheer squad in Bring It On. Though not the film's lead, Isis became its moral center, confident, talented, unapologetically black. The role transformed Union from a familiar face into a cultural force, and she became one of the most talked about actresses of the era almost overnight. Rather than being boxed into teen roles, Union leveraged that visibility into adult, black-centered stories on her own terms. She starred in The Brothers, 2001, Two Can Play That Game, 2001, and Deliver Us from Eva, 2003, films that placed black womanhood, intelligence, and romantic agency at the center of the narrative. These performances solidified her as a leading actress, not a trend, but a constant. At the same time, she expanded into blockbuster cinema, appearing alongside Will Smith and Martin Lawrence in Bad Boys 2 and in action-driven projects like Cradle to the Grave. The balance mattered. Gabrielle Union refused to choose between commercial reach and cultural specificity. She did both. In 2013, Union took a career-defining risk by accepting the lead role in BET's Being Mary Jane. As Mary Jane Paul, a successful but deeply flawed news anchor, Union delivered one of the most layered performances of her career. The series ran for 6 seasons, earned NAACP Image Awards, and proved that a cable drama led by a black woman could sustain both critical acclaim and loyal viewership. Unlike earlier roles, this one allowed her to age, evolve, and inhabit contradiction on screen, something she had spent years pushing Hollywood to allow. Her memoir, We're Going to Need More Wine, became a bestseller, praised for its humor and brutal honesty, followed by You Got Anything Stronger, which expanded her voice beyond Hollywood into culture, health, and womanhood. Union's career is not defined by a single hit, but by endurance. And in an industry that often rewards youth over longevity, Gabrielle Union built something more difficult and more powerful, a career that grew with her rather than outgrowing her. When talking about growth, we can be sure that her money grew as well. As of 2025, early 2026, Gabrielle Union's net worth is most commonly estimated to be around $40 million, with multiple entertainment and finance publications placing her fortune comfortably in the high 8-figure range. That number reflects far more than acting income. It represents strategic reinvention, intellectual property ownership, and a refusal to rely on Hollywood alone. The first notable upward financial shift came with Bring It On in 2000. While the film itself did not make her instantly wealthy, it elevated her market value overnight. Gabrielle Union suddenly had leverage. That leverage translated into consistent leading roles in early 2000s romantic comedies and studio films such as The Brothers, Deliver Us from Eva, Bad Boys 2, and Cradle to the Grave. These roles pushed her earnings into the 7-figure per year range at her commercial peak, according to industry estimates for actors carrying comparable billing during that period. Yet what truly stabilized her wealth was television. Her decision to lead Being Mary Jane in 2013 proved to be one of the most financially consequential moves of her career. But Gabrielle Union did not stop at acting checks. She expanded her income streams deliberately. Her memoir became a bestseller, opening the door to lucrative advances, speaking engagements, and follow-up publications. Her second memoir further cemented her position as a powerful literary voice, transforming her brand from actress to cultural commentator. At the same time, Union built a formidable portfolio outside Hollywood. Brand partnerships, production deals, hosting duties, and business ventures, some independent, some alongside her husband, Dwyane Wade, have significantly increased her earning power. Together, they have invested in media projects, consumer brands, and equity-based partnerships that continue to generate income beyond appearances and performances. Gabrielle Union built wealth in an industry that cycles women out quickly, particularly women of color. She did so without relying on youth as currency or silence as strategy. She monetized honesty, endurance, adaptability, and ownership. Her net worth represents not just earnings, but agency. Let's dive into one of the aspects that definitely holds some responsibility for the wholesome net worth: real estate. Over the years, her homes have quietly told the story of her growth, from rising Hollywood star to established cultural force and protective mother. One of the most significant chapters in that story unfolded in Miami Beach, Florida. During Dwyane Wade's time with the Miami Heat, the couple lived in a sprawling waterfront estate overlooking Biscayne Bay. The Spanish-inspired mansion, which sat on roughly an acre of land, was purchased in 2010 for about $10.6 million. Over the next decade, the property was completely renovated into a 12,000-square-foot showpiece with 6 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, a private dock, a pool, a home theater, and even a basketball court. When their lives began pulling them west again, the house went on the market and ultimately sold in 2021 for approximately $22 million, turning the home into both a personal milestone and a highly successful investment. California became the next stage of Gabrielle Union's real estate journey. In Sherman Oaks, the couple bought a custom Mediterranean-style mansion in 2018 for just under $6 million. The 8,500-square-foot residence sat above the San Fernando Valley, featuring 5 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, a wine cellar, a home theater, and an infinity-edge pool with sweeping canyon views. After several years and extensive upgrades, the home was listed and later sold around $6.2 million, reflecting both market growth and the value added during their ownership. But the most talked about home in Gabrielle Union's portfolio is unquestionably the estate in Hidden Hills, California. In early 2020, she and Dwyane Wade quietly acquired an off-market mega mansion for approximately $17.9 million, a figure later widely reported as settling around $20 million. The move was deeply personal. The family relocated to Hidden Hills so their daughter, Zaya, could grow up in a community where she felt fully accepted and protected. The Hidden Hills mansion is monumental in scale. Spanning roughly 22,000 square feet across 3 levels, the contemporary estate includes 7 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, a double-height rotunda with a spiral staircase, a state-of-the-art home theater, a wine tasting room, a spa-level fitness suite, and a 12-car garage equipped with its own turntable. Outside, a zero-edge infinity pool overlooks rolling hills with multiple lounges designed for both celebration and solitude. It is the kind of property that signals arrival, but more importantly, security. More recently, Gabrielle Union expanded her definition of home beyond the West Coast. In late 2024, she and Wade purchased a $2.6 million beachfront home in Jamesport, New York, on Long Island's quieter North Fork. Unlike the Hamptons' high-gloss celebrity culture, this modern waterfront retreat offered privacy and calm. Built in 2020, on half an acre with a private beach, the home features about 3,500 square feet of space, 3 bedrooms, floor-to-ceiling glass, open interiors, and unobstructed water views. It marked a shift from grand estates toward serene, restorative spaces. These are not houses collected for headlines. They are spaces chosen for protection, family, and peace. I know you heard that 12-car garage space, but don't expect so much. Gabrielle Union has never treated cars as extensions of her celebrity. In a culture where garages are often curated for shock value and social media applause, her relationship with automobiles has always been rooted in purpose, comfort, and control. Her car collection, much like her career, reflects maturity rather than flash and intention rather than excess. From the beginning of her Hollywood journey, Gabrielle Union understood that a car was first and foremost a necessity. During the years when she was hustling from audition to audition in Los Angeles, transportation meant reliability. That mindset carried with her into later success. As her career expanded into major films, leading television roles, and executive production, Union's vehicles increasingly reflected comfort and privacy rather than performance spectacle. Celebrities at her level often favor high-end SUVs SUVs and luxury sedans priced in the $60,000 to $120,000 range, not as statements of wealth, but as mobile safe spaces, cars that offer smooth rides, advanced security, and the ability to blend in when necessary. Gabrielle Union's selections mirror that quiet, luxury approach. Her marriage to Dwyane Wade added another dimension: family. Once children entered the picture, practicality mattered even more. Larger luxury SUVs designed for safety, interior space, and long-distance travel naturally fit the lifestyle of a household balancing school runs, filming schedules, and cross-country commitments. These vehicles tend to prioritize silence, comfort, and durability over attention, exactly the opposite of paparazzi bait. If her garage were tallied realistically, it would likely include 1 to 3 luxury vehicles at any given time, with a combined value estimated between $150,000 and $300,000, a modest figure relative to her net worth, but perfectly aligned with someone who understands depreciation, utility, and personal peace. These are not cars meant to impress strangers. They are meant to support daily life without friction. Let's get into her personal life. Gabrielle Union's personal life has never been an accessory to her career. It has been the foundation beneath it. Her place shaped by survival, hard truths, and the courage to keep choosing herself even when it was uncomfortable. Her early romantic relationships were shaped by that same process of learning. In 2001, she married NFL player Chris Howard, a union that ended in divorce 5 years later. In retrospect, Gabrielle would later admit that she entered the marriage without fully knowing herself, prioritizing stability and expectation over alignment. The end of that chapter forced a reckoning, not with love itself, but with the version of herself she had outgrown. Everything changed when she met Dwyane Wade. Their connection didn't arrive with fantasy or illusion, it arrived with honesty. Both carried pasts, children, failures, and responsibilities. What bonded them wasn't perfection, it was transparency. When Gabrielle Union married Wade in 2014, she didn't just gain a partner, she stepped into a blended family, becoming a stepmother, and later welcoming their daughter, Kavya James, via surrogate in 2018. Motherhood, for Gabrielle, was not a straight line. She has spoken openly about miscarriage, fertility struggles, medical trauma, and grief, subjects many public figures avoid. Her willingness to share those experiences reshaped conversations around womanhood, bodily autonomy, and choice. She refused the narrative that fulfillment must look the same for everyone. Family, for Gabrielle Union, is an act of intention. That philosophy became especially visible when she and Wade publicly supported their daughter, Zaya, in choosing to protect, advocate for, and prioritize their child's well-being, even when it meant relocating, confronting hostility, or withdrawing from unsafe spaces. Gabrielle Union once again demonstrated how her personal life has always been guided by conscience over comfort. Despite fame, Gabrielle Union values normalcy. She enjoys routine, space, and privacy. She has spoken about learning when to retreat from the public eye, when to say no, and when survival requires silence instead of explanation. That discernment didn't come naturally, it was earned. Her story reminds us that personal growth is not about arriving somewhere perfect. It is about choosing authenticity again and again, especially when it's inconvenient. Hope you enjoyed this deep dive. Kindly like, share, and subscribe for more. Comment on who you'd like to see next, and I'll see you in the next video.